Welcome, Rangers fans, to our midweek coaches show, where once again, as we always do, we recap the previous week in Ranger sports, and then we kind of take a break there and talk about other things going on our campus and other activities and sports on our campus, and then talk about the week ahead. And we've got a big week coming up this week. This is, of course, this show is taped on Tuesday. This is homecoming week here at Smithson Valley High School. A whole week's worth of activities on campus, culminating with obviously a Friday night home football game this Friday against MacArthur. But before we get into that, let's look back. Let's look back a week. Another big district game last week for the Rangers football program on the road at New Braunfels, a team who we were tied with in the standings, and kind of had not a shaky start, but just a wild back and forth tug-of-war type game there in the first half. We went in trailing 18-13, but then came back and ended up winning the game 29-18. A big district game puts us in the playoffs for the how many years in a row, however many it's been since '09, however many years that is, 15 perhaps, and then and solidifies our place, as I said, in the playoffs, and we begin to position ourselves on what the postseason brackets might look like. So a big win against a quality New Braunfels team who's got playoff aspirations of their own. And Coach Westerfer, we always start with you and our defensive side of the ball. The Unicorns didn't go quietly. Very balanced attack and tough to defend.
Really are. And I mean, they were as advertised. We knew they were tough coming in, and just like we expected, they were very balanced. They ran the ball, threw the ball, really back and forth throughout the first half, I mean, and we had a hard time getting off the field on third down, gave up a few explosive plays in the first half, and going into halftime, we're struggling a little bit to get off the field as quickly as we'd like to.
Right, but made a few plays. The turnovers margin came out even. Neither team turned the ball over. Explosive plays, that's runs over 12, passes over 18 yards, was tied 5-5. That's a few more than we'd like giving up. The previous 2 weeks we'd given up 0 and 1. So we gave up 5 and generated 5. But made some things, everybody talks about halftime adjustments, which is very overrated. More than anything, we kind of decluttered maybe a little bit and just kind of lined up and just smooth the waters defensively in the second half.
Yeah, I was really proud of our kids. They settled in a little bit in the second half, and then really we started making a few more plays. In the second half, we got the ball on the ground a couple of times, weren't able to get it, but stayed physical, kept playing, didn't get our heads down or anything like that. Made a big stop on a fourth down on the goal line, which really kind of solidified the game, which I thought was the big turning point.
No doubt. Yeah, big goal line stand on a 4th and 1 from the 1. Diego Davila, was able to tackle their quarterback short of the goal line, and that allowed us to, in effect, run out the clock and end the game. And Coach Hill, halftime, we just talked about that. Same thing offensively, just declutter a little bit. They're doing this, we're doing this. Let's get it down to these things and go execute that in the second half. And, again, much like our defense, did some of that offensively as well.
That's right, Coach, we did. In the first half, we weren't playing sloppy or bad or anything, but I would say New Braunfels might be one of the most physical defenses we played all year. So credit to them for that. But at a halftime, going in trailing, I thought our kids did a great job of just answering. Like Coach Worsfer said, we weren't hanging our heads or anything like that. And offensively, we came out and had back-to-back scoring drives and kind of shifted the momentum a little bit in the game. And I think that was all behind our offensive line. Talking about how physical New Braunfels is, our guys took that and they answered it. Offensive line played great, led by Parker Miller. He kind of led the charge up there and established the run game in the second half.
You bet. And, we mentioned earlier turnover 0 and 0. We didn't turn the ball over. We didn't get any takeaways, though. And we had 5 explosive plays, so did they. So, those are 2 telltale signs of how you win games, but yet those are even. So how did we, win by 11 points? I'll trace that back to the kicking game, often an overlooked part of the game. But we had a number of big kickoff returns. Brody Day took the thing past midfield a couple of different times, gave us great field position, gave us short fields to go score. Trent Amaya, I think, punted for a 47-yard average, kept consistently punting them back to their end, kept their dangerous returner who had great success throughout the year. took the ball out of his hands, both on punt returns and on his kickoffs. And we made all our extra points. We even made a 2-point play on a somewhat errant snap. Leighton Camacho picks that up and throws it to Preston Baker in the end zone for a 2-point play, and that's how we got to 29. So kicking game may have spelled the difference in an otherwise pretty even game. I mentioned the turnovers and the explosive plays. So good, hard-fought win on the road, punches our tickets to the playoffs. And of course, now we've still got 2 regular season games to go, and so we've still got some peaking to do. We don't think we're the finished product yet. Well, I hope not, but we've done what we've had to do to get us to this point. So we do play at home this Friday, a homecoming game against MacArthur, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. But as we always do at the Midpoint Show, we're going to turn it over to Ms. Schneider, our principal, and Coach Miller, our assistant athletic coordinator, and they're going to talk about the other activities on campus from the previous week and the week to come. So take it away, ladies.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats to you guys on the big win last week. Speaking of big wins, we've got a lot of things to celebrate right now.
We do.
Volleyball, last week we had a huge program sweep on Tuesday versus Wagner. It was also our Dig Pink night. We had a ton of honorees out, survivors of breast cancer, some who are currently fighting, and then we got to remember a lot who unfortunately lost their battle. But it was a great night, not just for the win, but also for that. I know the girls and their families loved it. And then Friday, we had a huge win. We had to go to Tybee, and for varsity, it was a must-win. We were tied with them for 4th place, so the writing was kind of on the wall. Whoever won that obviously was going to make playoffs. And our girls absolutely showed up. It was a close game. Scores were 25-20, 26-24, 27-25. In the third, we were down 18-12. I was just very, very proud of the fight for the girls. The fight that they showed, their composure, their grit. I feel like we're peaking at the perfect point in the season, moving into postseason. So we did beat Tybee in 3. We secured our playoff spot. So very excited. Congrats to the girls. We'll have some information about that coming up. But even more exciting is our cross-country team. I don't know that anybody's surprised, but the cross-country team was regional champs. They competed at regionals last week in Corpus and just dominated. I mean, it was close between the 1st and 2nd place team, but really kind of a huge gap after that. We need to give a huge shout out to our freshman, Brady Solansky, who is the regional champ, 1st place in the entire region as a freshman. It's unbelievable. They're headed to state this week. They'll compete on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We'll have a great send-off for them on Friday. We've also got a huge pep rally to celebrate a ton of things. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We have a community pep rally. We are inviting all of our schools in our feeder pattern. So it's Wednesday at 6:30 right here at Ranger Stadium. So if you can come out and join the fun, it's going to be
I think it's going to be awesome.
Time.
My kindergartner's excited about running the football field, and we're going to have volleyball out there, cross country, band performance. I think cheer, dance. I mean, really highlighting.
Yes, a lot of the performances of what's been seen this fall will be highlighted that evening. So we are very excited about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it will be exciting on Saturday to see our cross-country girls compete.
Yes.
Very excited.
Yes.
Another team that we have going to state is our band. Our marching band made state playoffs or made state competition. They compete on Monday morning.
Big weekend.
It is a big weekend. So we're excited to see how they do there. And then also our ag teams, one of our ag teams just came back from Indianapolis where they placed 4th in their competition in the nation. So
crazy.
We're very excited about those 2 student groups. Those are our student groups of the week.
Yeah.
And then our teacher of the week is Coach Herr. Coach Herr is doing a fantastic job, not only in the sports arenas, but also in the classroom. He really has data-driven instruction where he comes back and looks at all the things that are going on with his kids and how he can really change and improve instruction or adjust instruction so that kids have a better understanding of what's happening in his classroom. So,
and athletically, I mean, we're jumping right into girls basketball season. We have a new girls head basketball coach, Kathleen Johnson, and he's just been such a good support for her. He's helped us out in a lot of other sports whenever we've needed it this semester. So, I mean, not just in the classroom, but athletically and just volunteer-wise, he's someone we can always count on. So, thanks, Coach Herr.
Yes, thanks, Coach Herr.
All right, let's talk about what's coming up. You've heard a little bit. Cross country is going to go to state this Saturday. They're going to be at Old Settlers Park, which is in Round Rock. They will run Saturday morning at 10:45. We obviously want to wish good luck to our girls team, to Coach Hall, to Coach Nunley. Look forward to celebrating you at the pep rally Wednesday and then also at the send-off on Friday. Tonight, volleyball will finish our regular season. We have our last district game here at Smithson Valley against Veterans Memorial. We will start at 7 o'clock. It's also senior night, so we've got six fantastic seniors that we're looking forward to celebrating, and hopefully, their last time playing on this court is a good one. So that's tonight for volleyball, and then you want to talk a little bit about the sports coming up?
I'm excited about senior night. I love
gonna be
senior
fun.
nights.
Emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's great to see the celebrations of kids and their accomplishments
And their
over there.
families get their moment. These families
Yes.
have supported them for 4 years, so I feel like it's finally the parents' time to stand on the court and get a little recognition as well.
Okay, so coming up, basketball is in full swing. We have scrimmages for the girls that took place on Saturday. They look pretty good.
They looked very good. I was very impressed.
Our boys have scrimmages coming up this Saturday. And then our swim and golf teams are getting right into the action. We're excited to see what comes for them this winter.
Yep.
So,
Then you've got soccer getting ready, wrestling getting ready. So it's that time of year.
yes, it is.
All right. Well, thanks. We look forward to seeing you guys at some of our events this week. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you, ladies, and congratulations to all of our athletes. This is a weird time of year. We still got sports ongoing, as we've been talking about and will talk about. And then we've got basketball kicking into high gear and got some other sports getting ready to get going as well. So that kind of will be the rest of the school year, no doubt. And we wish those athletes and their coaches good luck. Football is at home this week. It's our last home regular season game. It's against the MacArthur Bramers. It is homecoming, as we mentioned earlier. So, we got all those activities going on in addition to the game. MacArthur comes in. We used to play them all the time. We were in the district with them for many, many years in our 6A days, and then we kind of drifted to another league, and then, then we suddenly find ourselves playing them again for the third year down in 5A. So, Coach Westerfer, every week it seems like we say this, but a different opponent, a different style. Seguin threw the ball quite a bit, ran it when they kind of needed to. New Braunfels was very balanced. A couple of weeks ago, Wagner ran the ball virtually every play. MacArthur comes at us with a different style of offense.
Yes, sir. They're kind of more wing tee based. A run-oriented offense, different than Wagner's, though. Wagner's was a triple option. This is going to be some pullers and some traps and, old school football is really what MacArthur's doing. They got some explosive players doing it. They got number 10. They'll move him around everywhere. He'll play some quarterback, some tailback, some wide receiver. They're trying to focus on or get him the ball, and he's very explosive with it. They got another running back, number 6, who they move around. He'll play a little quarterback and running back as well. So they got some really explosive players, and an offense you don't see every week, certainly. This will be the first time we've played this style of offense this year. So it'll be a challenge for our kids to be locked in on their keys and to play fast and not make mistakes in lining up.
Yeah, you mentioned old school. When I first started coaching, it seemed like we were seeing that wing tee just about every week if we weren't running it ourselves. And now it's, pulling guards here, backs are crisscrossing in the back, guards going one way, balls going the other. Be a real challenge for our defense. And offensively, Coach, MacArthur seems like a continuing pattern. 3 down, that seems to be the rage in defensive football these days, and we got another group that runs that.
Yeah, it appears to be the year of the 3 down, but MacArthur, they seem to have a wrinkle or a little change-up week to week for each opponent. They play New Braunfels slightly different. They play Victoria East slightly different. So, we're expecting to see what is that wrinkle. Can we identify it quickly? Hopefully we can. But it comes down to communication. Our guys up front need to do a good job of identifying what are they in, what's this front, and then make our calls and go from there. They do a good job with their secondary. They snug in a joker safety pretty tight, and he gets into the run fit. So like we always do, need to account for him in the run game and make sure that we've got some ways, hopefully, to make them hurt for that.
Well, I hope so. And as we mentioned earlier in the New Braunfels game, hopefully our kicking game can continue to make a difference. Our kickers, our punters, our return game, blocking kicks, returning kicks, those kind of things. It takes all of that to win in this league and to get where we want to go. And our players have taken that to heart. Hopefully they'll have a good week. Look forward to playing in front of the ex-students, ex-players who come around. give me advice, every week. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. I know it's not like when you played here, and these guys, of course, aren't as good as you were, but that's okay. They'll be telling me the same thing in a few years. But we look forward to seeing all of y'all at the game. As always, it'll be available live on the Rangers Network via the pay-per-view route, or you can watch it on a replay after the game ends. But what we hope you'll do, of course, is get to Ranger Stadium Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff against the MacArthur Bramers in a homecoming football game in the next to last regular season game of the year. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you next time.